Josh and Will here.
What's up?
We are bringing you a GameStuffed Quickie. Now, what is a GameStuffed Quickie? It's basically our version of gaming blog, pretty much.
Sounds about right.
Between like 5 to 10 minute videos, and basically, if anything comes up, we are gonna put it on this channel, and that's what we're basically going to use to fill up the gap between the episodes since it's a month between episodes.
Yeah, it's a month between all the podcasts, and the podcasts we're still gonna release in parts. They're gonna be long podcasts, but in the middle, we just want to bring some content.
R-
Some,
right, and today, at least from my end, I just had a PS2 moment happen. Like, quite literally, yesterday, May 5th. Basically, what happened, me and my roommate were gonna load up a game. I won't speak of the game just in case it comes up in future podcasts, which in the end that might not matter, but whatever. That's how I'm gonna do this because it's not really about the game. But
yeah, the game's not the important part here.
yeah. Basically, so me and my roommate were gonna load up this multiplayer game. Well, I had to go and buy another controller anyways, but at the time I was testing to see if I could use my Hapaj HD PVR to record all my PS2 games because I had heard that it only does like certain PS2 games that it will record and some of them it won't.
And those are the ones that are in HD, right?
Yeah, I'm not really sure on the details about it,
Hmm.
to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But good news, all my PS2 games would record so I can get gameplay footage. Yay!
That's very helpful.
But yeah. Anyway, so I was testing out this specific multiplayer game. Which when I got it, I tested the game, but I never actually started the game. I just seen if the PS2 would read it, pretty much. But when you tried to start the game, it it was on a black screen for like about a minute or so. Yeah, for some reason I let it stay on a black screen for a really long time. Then it actually cut to the loading screen, which it was supposed to. But 1 minute passes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, still on this same loading screen. Now the loading screen is a moving animation, so it's like the picture background is moving from side to side, like kind of like when you're playing Super Mario Brothers and you're running right in the level. It's like the background
Hmm.
moving left. But it was moving, but after 3 minutes, I'm like, this can't be normal. Even for a PS2 game, I don't think loading times take this long. But, so I had to go and get a controller anyway. So I went to my local game shop. They had another copy, but it looked worse than what the copy I had did, apparently.
Huh.
Which the guy is good about pointing that stuff out because he doesn't want to sell you something that might look pretty bad. He lets you know how bad the disc is and such.
Oh, that's good.
But he said I could either go to his other shop and see if they have one there. But after that, he also offered to switch out the sequel for evenly. So giving me the sequel for that game, which I took it because this game is basically the same game.
Oh, nice.
Gameplay wise, I mean, of course.
Yeah.
So I got home with the extra controller. We start up creating our characters because this is like an RPG. I create my character. My roommate is player 2. He goes in to create his character. Then when he gets to the prompt where he has to press the X button, nothing works. He tries other buttons, but some of the other buttons actually don't work as well. They're mainly like the face buttons, D-pad, and X, square, triangle, circle, them buttons.
Wow, really?
I don't know if they was them all, but I only know of the X button really, but he said there was others. Anyway, so
Huh.
I make my trip back to the game store and tell him what's wrong, that the controller wasn't reading, that specific buttons weren't working. He gave me 2 controllers to take home just in case one of them wasn't working. Well, I try out that second controller, and we are having the same problem. Now, on my way home, it occurred to my mind that maybe it's the Player 2 port on the PS2. It could very well be. And since that second time happened, I figured, well, we get 2 different controllers and the same thing happens. It's got to be the port, so...
It's especially one right after another.
Yeah, so I unhook my main PS2 console, I keep the wires, and just take back the console to the place, the local game shop, because this is where I pretty much buy all my current stuff, pretty much, so...
And you don't live very far from it.
No, otherwise I wouldn't be running back this many times.
Yeah.
Well, I might. Depends how bad I want to play the game. But, yeah, so I take that in and tell him what's wrong. And I tell him, like, Or wait, actually, on the way back when I take my PS2 console, being the nice person I am and trying to be fair, since he gave me 2 controllers, and since now in my mind I'm thinking, well, maybe since the controller worked, maybe I shouldn't take the extra controller. Maybe I should take it back with me. But so I take that one of the extra controllers that he gave me with me. We go in, and I tell him what I think is going on, and so he gets me another base console, and he wipes it off and such, and we test it with the controller that I brought in. He ends up giving me back the controller and the console, so...
Oh, wow.
We get home, plug in 2 controllers, one of them not being the one we tested for whatever reason, and the second controller still having problems. We finally plug in the one that was tested at the store, and it worked. And we got to play, but turns out I had got 2 controllers with the same problem and thought my PS2 port was the problem. And so I ended up making an extra trip that I didn't need to.
Wow.
And that was my big PS2 moment that happened yesterday. Joshua Adams. Even in 2014, I'm still having PS2 moments.
I can't believe you got the same problem with 2 controllers, like, right in a row.
Well, it happened.
Wow, that's quite
And
the journey.
what about you? Do you have anything to say?
Well, my PS2's been working fine.
Well,
I haven't had problems currently, so
that's good.
uh,
Yeah, the reason why I wanted us both to be here, even though it was my story, was because this is kind of introduction, and I wanted to point out what this type of thing was. It's basically just kind of our blog. I mean, we won't. Right now, we're doing it as a duo, but these won't always be duos. We'll have them as sometimes as separately.
yeah. We'll do our own things like uh see I was thinking I always go to yard sales and um try to go to flea markets and stuff or just game stores. Since I don't have a very big collection, but I'm always wanting to build my collection. I always try to pick up games and stuff, so I figured I'll let you guys know what I picked up and you know the deals I got or whatever. So I figured that's something I could put out there.
That's awesome. I have no way to capture video, so you're out of luck on my end. You'll have to stick to my voice for telling you what I get.
That's all good. But yeah, that and like if something happens in like the gaming news or something we want to talk about, we could do it. We could both bring you something like our opinions on it or tell you something important that's happening or,
Mm-hmm. And
whatever.
so stay awesome, everyone, and have a nice day.
We'll talk at you later.